Welcome to the NYMD podcast. Thank you for joining us on Premier League Saturday weekend. First games of the weekend in Premier League. You know how excited I am. Let's go! Wait, what'd you say?
I say go Man City. That's my favorite Premier League team.
You don't even know what they do. You don't even know. You only know one color scheme that they have. You have no clue what they did all last year.
They didn't get relegated last year. So. They were in 5th place last year. Hurt?
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the NYMD podcast. And what did you say wrong again? Go ahead.
I said they didn't get relegated. They were in 5th place last year.
So they were in 5th place last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining the NYMD podcast. Kevin Herbert Gerard. We're here, of course, on StreamYard and YouTube, as well as Facebook, IG, Twitter. And, of course, we're on Spreaker and Stitcher apps, as well as Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you find your favorite podcast, and we should be one of them. You will find the NY. And again, we're going to start out with soccer because Brian knows nothing.
Wait a minute, hold on. Before we start off the day, I have breaking news, Hurt.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Breaking news. I have now seen the entire Godfather trilogy, Hurt.
What? First of all, we're starting off the show with that. Excuse me? You saw part 2?
Leslie and I watched part 2 last night.
What?
Yes.
Dude,
Only one problem.
Huh?
Only one problem.
Well, y'all fell asleep.
I fell asleep.
Oh,
so I got to one point in Godfather 2, and it says intermission. And I'm like, oh boy.
Were y'all watching? They had the intermission. It was like the original.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, I'm watching it, and then it says intermission. I'm like, oh shoot, there's more. So I knew once I saw that, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this whole thing. So from that point on, I was kind of dozing in and out of sleep. So I am going to have to rewatch it. I will say that first half or whatever I saw was fire, yo.
There we go.
So all I know is, oh man, I love like how they were weaving the story of Vito Corleone, yo, and how he rose to power, yo. I love that, man, because especially how it starts, like this dude's a 9-year-old kid gets sent off to America on his own. Like, how does he go from that? You know what I'm saying? He wasn't talking. His mom called him dumb-witted. You know what I mean? How's he go?
He was trying to do that to save his life. That's the whole. That was just. I mean, he was a non-talker.
But he didn't talk and stuff. So,
yeah. I mean,
I get what you're saying, but I know she was trying. But I'm just saying just to, you know what I'm saying, to go from that to become one of the most feared, mob bosses, yo, during that time, yo, it grabbed me, man.
And Robert De Niro does such a great job as Vito Corleone.
Yes.
I know just that little kid that came over is all a little shy, and then how they met everybody else. The guy's like, here, hide this. Like, hide this. Hey, would you like a rug? Did you get them to the rug part?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just little things like that.
Yo, I got when he took out Don Fanucci, yo.
Oh, that was so awesome. I was so happy.
I was like,
because I mean, you saw how they took out his mom.
yeah.
Like, that's not cool. He's like, all right, when he grows older, it's gonna come back and seek revenge. No, he can't let him live. Like, come on. Just like she gets tore up, and he runs away. Somehow hides in the little donkey thing on the side, and gets to a mad at guy. And yeah, that dude, yeah. But when he got back, and he's like, "Oh, look, he's there to bless you." Okay, thank you. I was like, "Nope, slash, 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 slash." I was like, get him. I was so happy about that.
Man, yeah, man. I would just say that I do have to go back and rewatch like the ending because I think I missed about an hour.
Yeah.
But man, it was good, man. It was good. I gotta, but I wanna go back. Yeah, I want to go back and finish watching it to see which one I like better.
Oh, you said Finucci, not to Don back in Italy.
No, I'm sorry. No. I thought it was
the one in America.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that dude was like, "Hey, what you doing there?" He's sitting there like, oh, what you got there?
Yeah, yo. And then I couldn't even watch, but I think he and I'm assuming because I had to turn my head, I'm assuming he put the gun in his mouth.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
you really didn't see nothing there though.
Oh, okay. I could watch. I was like, no, he's not going to do that.
You saw him put him in there, but you didn't see it. You heard the gun go.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden, you see people just start coming to him, and then dude was just like, but he's so soft spoken,
Yeah.
I just been over there.
Yeah, like I like how the landlord changed the
and then it's intertwined with the stuff happening with Michael.
Yeah,
and
that was so cool how they were flipping. Yeah, like how you said it was all like interconnected and how they kept going. Yeah, that was slick.
It was so good. That was so good.
So I just wanted to let you know I did watch it.
Oh, good. All right. Well, now you know what? Thank you everybody for tuning in. We can't top that. There's really nothing. He actually, after 40 some odd years in this world, actually saw one of the greatest movies of all time. And just for that, I will watch Paddington.
Yes. Are you serious? Yes.
I'm so proud of you that I'll watch Paddington.
Okay. All right. No, but
it took you now. It might take me 40 years to watch it.
Exactly,
but I will watch Paddington.
Okay. Awesome.
We're gonna do this podcast at 80. Oh, it was really good, Brian. Paddington was really good. I like the part where he's. Wait, what are we talking about? That'd be hilarious. Anyway, all right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about. But first, after Brian's monumental news that he actually saw Godfather Part 2, most of it, before he fell asleep, but he did rewatch 1 and saw 2. So now he saw all 2 Godfather movies. Because remember, third one.
Hey, wait a minute.
All 2. All 2.
And I am going to go back after I'm going to rewatch Part 2 from the intermission on. I'm going to go back and rewatch Part 3 too, because I don't remember anything from Part 3. I remember thinking, I know it's not as good as the first 2 as far as what everybody says, but I don't remember thinking it was like horrible. Like I don't remember it being horrible.
Part 2 or 3? You mean Part
3? I'm talking about 3.
Oh yeah, no, it's catastrophic.
I don't remember it being horrible. And the only thing I remember, it seems like there's one scene I remember from both movies. Like the only thing I remember from Part 1 was the horse, and the only thing I remember from Part 3 is the end. Is the collapse. That's the only thing I remember from Part 3.
Yeah.
So I do want to go back, and the reason why
that was the only part that meant anything. That was it. It was because it was like a full circle moment.
Oh, okay.
But it still was just like, yeah. But it was
still... okay, man, that makes sense. See, context hurt context. But now I want to watch Part 3 though, because I want to see what happens with Anthony. So I'm really curious.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to, you can go right ahead. Well, waste your time. Fine.
But anyway,
but wait till you see since you watched the first 2. Just wait until you then compare that to the quality and everything that you watched already. Then I think it's going to have a whole different view of everything for you.
Okay.
So, but anyway, speaking of losing people, unfortunately, we lost some big, iconic individuals this week. Vince Scully, Bill Russell, and someone who wasn't in the sports, but who definitely meant a lot to basically both of us. And that's Nicole Nichols. No, that's her name, right?
I thought it was Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah, Nichelle Nichols. I always say Nicole. I don't know why. But who was, of course, Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek, something that I grew up on. So, I'll start off with her. I remember there's this channel, WPIX in New York, Channel 11. And after the Honeymooners went off, the old original Star Trek came on.
Okay.
And that's when I started falling in love with the whole Star Trek universe. But that's when we had Captain Kirk, we had Spock, we had Chekhov, we had Scotty, and we had this black lady on this TV show, which was in the 60s, which of course is what's going on here? It's like breaking down walls. She was so good. And of course the movies later on and everything. She just became an iconic individual for us. And then we started hearing all the stories and realizing how much of a breakthrough actress she was, and just having her part that she had on TV and how she influenced so many people after her. Especially on Star Trek, because Star Trek really has had a lot of black great leading ladies and just strong characters after that at that point as well. As long as with Whoopi, and they have Discoveries led by Captain Michael Burnham. I only call her Michael Burnham, and I still don't know her real name.
Yeah, I forget her real name, but she was in the Walking
Yeah, she's in The Walking Dead, and I'm so bad with names. Horrible things. But they have strong female characters, black female characters. So it's always good. It's always good. So
and with all the with all the talk with her, this week, I heard something that was it was profound, Joe. Like, I never really thought about it this way, but there was she did an interview where she was talking about how, like, she didn't want to do the show because she didn't really have a role, but as she spoke with like Martin Luther King, and he was telling her how important it was.
Yes.
And basically, he was trying to say, because like you're pretty much showing that, like, in the future, like, we're still here, like, that we matter. Yo, I never even thought about it that way. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, that's true. That's true. Just showing that, this is how far we got, and that we, you know what I'm saying, and how, like, you were so important to this, and like just putting it in that perspective really shows that yes, her role was important. It really was, and that was like mind blowing to me, man, because putting in that perspective, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. But yeah, I remember that story. But because we weren't on TV a lot, but being in this sort of, how many, even almost today, excuse me, how many black people do you see in science fiction movies when you think about it?
Right.
Just in general, like, as all the movies, and I love sci-fi. Sci-fi is one of my favorite things. I mean, I know Star Trek luckily had Benjamin Sisko as a captain, and they had Geordi. I mean, they had a lot of characters that I could relate to. But when, we got Mace recently in Star Wars,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, we weren't really even in there. And Dune, we weren't really, definitely not in the first Dune, a little bit in the second Dune. But it's, we're the representation matters.
Yes.
So
yeah. And Hurt, once again, more breaking news. I have never seen Star Trek until this week, because now
Star Trek?
Say what?
Like any Star Trek?
The only Star Trek I've ever seen was the movie. I saw the movie, the one with what's his name, Christopher Pine, the one that came out recently.
The newer version of it.
Yeah, the newer version. That's it. And I like that. So you know what? I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back and watch Star Trek. So I watched the originals. I'm watching the original series right now.
Did you get the Trouble with Tribbles yet?
No, I started at the 4th episode.
Okay.
Because I think I heard that the 4th episode was really the first episode. where no man has gone before, or something like that.
Mhm.
And then, but now I'm confused because now I'm starting because right now I'm on this episode called The Cage, which is technically the first episode, but it's Commander
Yes.
Captain Pike.
Yeah, Captain. Yep, Christopher Pike.
Yeah, where's William Shatner? That's I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, Christopher Pike was the original captain of the starship USS Enterprise.
Okay.
Then after that, as you'll watch, whatever happens, then Captain Kirk takes over.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you saw the original, not the original one, but if you saw the remakes, they had the Captain Pike in there as well before Kirk took over. So it's basically they always go through the same storylines.
Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, man, it's interesting, man. It's interesting.
Yeah, listen, I love it. Like Star Trek: The Next Generation was the one that got me hooked. That's what I watch here on BBC in the morning.
Okay.
Trying to see if I saw an episode or missed an episode ever in the 11 seasons they were on, it seemed like. And so I love that show. I still watch Star Trek today. So, but again, the representation matters. I get to see Geordi. I get to see, Ten O'Hare. I get to see now Captain Michael Burnham. I saw Captain Benjamin Sisko. We've had Starship Captain. We had black people on the show more than Star Wars. So it's I've always, that's why I've always related. I mean, I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, but we haven't had black characters in Star Wars. So it's cool just to see us in Starfleet uniform, walking around, fixing stuff, doing things, and being part of the continuum, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so shout out to her. Also, I don't even know what order to go in. I'll probably just go with Vin Scully here next. Vin, he's like 90 something. Like Vin lived a full life.
Yes.
And that dude, I mean, he broadcast for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Like that dude moved with the team.
Wow.
Coast to coast. And there's still one call during one World Series game when somebody who couldn't even walk came up and pinched hit in the World Series.
Magical.
And hit a home run off for Dennis Eckersley.
Magical.
And the call was just like, I don't believe
what
I just saw. You can't ever forget that.
Yo.
Like this the whole thing. Like, and the one thing that's why we love about baseball, there's more iconic calls in baseball than anyone else. And he has a big part of that. And he also called the catch in Dwight Clark in the end zone with Joe Montana.
No.
Yeah, he also called that.
Wow. Didn't he also call the Bill Buckner?
Oh yeah, behind the bag. Yes, yeah. Believe me, I remember that one. I remember that one. That was the greatest call of all time. Yeah. Behind the bag, it's in the outfield. Oh, dude, don't let me go because then it's a whole different.
You see Ray Knight with the arms. And... But that Kirk Gibson, because he was in such disbelief as like everybody else, because he, because the way
dude was up there limping around, and I'm like, and back again, I didn't like the Dodgers even back then. Okay, so it's not like people need to understand my dislike for teams usually goes a long time. It's not just it didn't happen yesterday. There's always stuff. So I was rooting for the A's, and Eckersley was basically unhittable.
He was unstoppable.
And I'm like, how they got this? Eckersley's in there. This guy came from Detroit. He's okay. I ain't gonna do anything. And it's like I swear he didn't even swing the bat hard.
No.
It didn't even look like he even planted his foot to hit the ball. It was just a smooth swing. The timing was perfect, and the ball left the field. And I was just like, what? And he's just and he's barely making it around like Tom Berenger in Major League running the first.
That's exactly what he looked like.
Exactly what it looked like. That dude struggling that much.
Tom Berenger was faster.
He was barely, because he even just tripped over the base because he's running so hard.
Oh man.
Dude.
And the amazing thing is, Vince Scully did it for so long. Like, you got to remember, he just retired not that long ago.
Yeah, he's like, LA had him and they had Chick Hearn for like forever.
Amazing.
But it's so cool to have there's so many legends with teams. There was the guy in Detroit. I forgot his name, Johnny Mose or not Johnny Mose, Brickhouse, something. They call baseball game. Like there's so many iconic voices.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, I had Ralph Kiner.
I had John Miller, the great John Miller.
Yeah, and it especially when it comes to baseball, and those are voices that I'm never going to forget.
Exactly.
So it's unlike today's where I don't want to listen to any of these people, and I almost rather have it on mute.
Yeah.
It's back then. It was like you tuned in, and they were part of the atmosphere with your team.
Yes.
And it just made it that much more special listening to them.
Yeah.
And Vince Scully was he's an icon. An icon in this industry. So he leaves an indelible mark when it comes. Like I said, without even being he was a national broadcaster. He wasn't just with the Dodgers, but this is how good he was. So like you said, calling the World Series, calling different things, and again behind the back. Oh my God!
You just told me something. I did not know that he called the catch. I didn't know he did football. What the heck?
Another iconic moment. But yeah, that's because as soon as he see that ball go behind the back, I just picture the whole thing in slow motion, and I was just losing my mind. And everybody, and I swear everybody thinks that's when we won the World Series. No people.
I know. That was game 6.
That was game 6. Game 7 was Jesse Roscoe. Okay. Which, by the way, Matt, anytime in the next, I don't know, couple years, we can get this going again. I was 10 then, a little bit older now. If we can just get one more in there for me, please. But speaking of people who went beyond sports, but who made their mark in sports as probably the greatest winner in all of American team sports, and that's we lost to Bill Russell. Man. Bill Russell didn't play when we were watching basketball. He was already retired. But the legend of the 11 rings, hearing about the 2 championships he won in college, hearing about the 2 championships he won in the state of California in high school. Like, he just didn't lose. He coached and played for a season with the Celtics and won a championship. And not only that, the dude was part of a bigger, and more importantly than all that, a big part of the civil rights movement. He was there with Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown and some of the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as some of the athletes who were taking a stand for us, and especially being a big of an icon as he is in that segregated city as Boston was or is. It's just really, really huge. And he's a guy, especially later on, he reminded me so much of, like I said, that grandfather everybody respected and loved. Almost like remember when Ted Williams came to that All-Star game and he's out in his little thing, everybody came to greet Ted Williams in the cart. Oh, was Ted Williams here? Like when Bill Russell showed up, he not only was he just revered, but he probably said something to make everybody laugh. Yeah. That dude will be like, how many rings you got? I mean, he will let you know who he is and where you stand, man. So what are your thoughts about Bill Russell?
Yeah, man, he's arguably the GOAT, Hurt. He's arguably, like you say, he is the greatest winner the NBA has ever seen. And honestly, I don't think he gets enough credit, man, for all that he accomplished in the NBA. And like you said, and even more so for what he did all his work in the civil rights movement, man. It's just, he's iconic. He's a legend. Maybe he should be the logo, man. But nah, man, he's Bill Russell. It's like when you think about winning, when you think about the GOATs of all time, I mean, he's the one that, you know what I'm saying, you have to bring up in the conversation, like you always do. But
he was a winner.
Yeah,
I know that DJ Khaled song. All he does is win.
Yeah, man. So no, but but the one thing I will say, we're talking about 3 icons. I'm glad they got a chance to live full lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's sad to see them go, but I'm just glad they lived into their late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah,
so,
90s, yeah.
Yeah. So, But yeah, man. So it was a sad week, man. But it's good to kind of remember and reflect from these great people and all they did and all they accomplished.
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to Ben Scully and Scully. I guess Scully. Ben Scully. So Ben and Scully. Like I'm watching X-Files or something. Like I don't know why. Like I get Scully in my head, like Mulder, Scully. So I remember all that stuff. Lord knows King and anybody's name right. But yeah, just shout out to them and their families. That they all left a mark that we're not ever going to forget. Tenohura, who I'm going to call her that character because she made that character hers. And as much as Zoe Saldana is doing a great job as she has been doing in the movies, the reason why she became that character is because Tenohura was a character on a show that stood the test of time and meant something for us. So, shout out to all them and all their families, and thank you for the contributions that they gave us. So that we definitely won't ever forget them. So but let's go on to MLB, man.
Okay.
Like it got dark in here. Something. I feel like all my lights went out. Anyway, I might have to change lights. Let's see. Oh, hold on. The magic of cool.
Oh, okay. There we go.
No. Oh, it's blue.
What? Wait a minute. What the heck is going on?
Okay. All right. That's better.
Okay.
Yep. The magic of television. We had some Major League Baseball trades this week. Unfortunately, you guys lost 2 of your best.
Yeah.
We got people, and not the people we wanted. So, of course, my fan base was upset. But some big trades. The Padres got lots of people.
Yeah, man.
Yankees got people. Everybody got people, except for the Mets. So, what are your whole thoughts about losing the guys you lost, man?
Yeah.
And some people stayed at home. I forgot. Otani's still at home, unfortunately, because he should be in Queens. And who else? Who's the other big person? It was Otani and who?
I don't know.
I can't think. I'll think of it, but go ahead.
So first of all, I thought I want to start off by saying I love this deadline. I like the fact that now there's a hard deadline because remember back in the day, there used to be the January 31st deadline, but then you had the waiver, because I remember like Manny
July 31st.
Yeah, July 31st, and then but then like if you release somebody and they made it through waivers, you can still trade for them.
I hated the waivers.
Yeah, I hated that. Yeah, because people always made it through waivers because a lot of the people that were dumped were high salary people and stuff like that. But anyway, I like this so much better. It's hard and fast, one deadline, so you got to get stuff done.
Yep.
And it creates more drama, man. We saw Juan Soto get traded, Josh Bell and Juan Soto get traded to the Padres.
Eric Hosmer not wanting to get traded.
Yeah,
they got traded someplace else.
Yeah, they got right. Yeah. We got Hader. He went from the Brewers to the Padres, which I still don't quite understand.
I still don't get that at all.
Yeah, I don't think their team does too. I remember their team was not happy.
Yeah, they're like, why we are in the first place and we're trading our closer
right
to another team in the same league.
Yeah, it didn't make it.
Then we might have to play in the playoffs. Like what?
Yeah,
that one still confuses me.
Yeah. So but look, I give the Padres credit, man. They are trying to win, and I like.
They're trying to win now.
Yeah, and I like that. A couple years ago they paid a buttload of money for Manny Machado. They signed Tatis to even though he was a year or so in the league, they signed him to a long-term deal.
Half a second in the league.
Yeah, it wasn't even a year. They signed him to a long-term deal, and now they got Soto. Who's still in team control for a minute. So, good for them, man. But I just like that aggressive approach. And like I texted you earlier this week, man, as much as I hate the Yankees, I give them credit. I think they made smart moves without giving up a lot of their top prospects, man.
Yeah,
they got a starter.
Yep.
They got a reliever with like 5 controllable years from the Cubs. They got the Benintendi that one really pissed me off because they gave up nothing to get him. They got him, and I know I'm missing some other stuff, but I think they got pieces to complement their team really well. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, for as how good as the Yankees are, and I'm not trying to take anything away from them, they do have holes. Like they do have holes, and I think they plugged up those holes really, really well. Like once you get past Aaron Judge in their lineup, I don't think their lineup's not really that intimidating.
Yeah,
I really don't. But putting a player like adding someone like a Benintendi when to go with a Judge, to go with a LeMahieu, it puts like just the right punch in that lineup, even if other people are in a slump or striking out too much. You know what I mean? Like it was just a nice move, man. So I like what the Yankees did. I like what the Mets did. I mean, the Mets plugged up some holes, but they're not giving up. They're not giving up their top people. You know what I'm saying?
And I think people needed to understand that. It's hard because in the past we used to just fleece everything to sign, to trade. Now, again, Steve, Uncle Steve, as we call him, came in and he said we have like a 5-year plan. And we're going to sit, and this is year 1.5. He just took over. And I think people forget that. We're already over a luxury tax. He's already paying more money than, the Wilpons ever would have paid for anybody. Now, again, we got Scherzer, we got DeGrom, just came back, just had his first start, looked pretty good. So that's like a free agent signing right there, to be honest, because we haven't had him all season.
Right.
So we shored up our bullpen, and, we have one of the best closers in the game. We shored up our DH situation. Yes, our catchers aren't the best hitters. We still got we're playing the Braves this week. We split 1-1 so far, so we still got a 3.5 game lead in first place. But the thing is, Mets fans are looking at look what the Dodgers have. Look what the Padres are doing. The Padres have good pitching, and they again they like you said, they got Bell, they got Soto to add to that lineup, and that lineup is a big lineup. But we still have a good team, and we didn't have to give up the guys who in the next 5 years will be up there mashing it for us. So if we this year, people want to win the World Series this year when we have a team. Maybe we do that, but it's going to be tough. But next year, when we have everybody and guys get called up and they start performing like you had Adley, we have our catcher, who's one of the top prospects, in AAA in our minor league system. He gets called up. We got outfielder. We have guys down there in our farm system who are going to make a difference for the club. So getting rid of them for a rental, maybe, unless you can get it for a guy who has control. Soto was never coming to the Mets. They're not trading within the division. So, right. So he was out of control. The person that we need and we asked about, and I'm sure they probably wanted Citi Field rights. We probably would have been like, Angel Field. At Queens, would it be Shohei Ohtani? The reason I think Ohtani would be great, besides the fact that I love him to death, is because he's a DH who can hit and he can pitch. You got one player with 2 spots. So it saves you a roster spot that you can do whatever with, and he'll be coming to a team that gives him run support. That's way better than the team he came from. So now, again, maybe next year in the offseason there'll be a deal that they want to do. I know the Angels don't want to sit there and look stupid. Now, they were listening to offers because they have to. But I know they don't want to sit here and look, why are we getting rid of Ohtani? That's going to change because you're going to have to. Unless he loves it that much and loves being in 4th place in the West, eventually he's going to want to leave. And if that's the fish that we can get, that'll push us to a whole different atmosphere. So that's where I'm looking at it. But Mets fans just wanted, the Contreras, they wanted Martinez, they wanted all the big names to come in. But those big names cost big prospects. So, like you said, the Royals, I don't know what they were thinking. They got literally, 2 slices of pizza from the deli and gave away Benintendi. Now, Benintendi can't go play in Toronto right now, but so what? That's one team.
Yeah, I did not like that, man. I didn't like that. But Like, look, at the end of the day, you got to give the Yankees credit, and I think you have to give the Braves credit for showing. I mean, I'm sorry, the Braves, the Mets credit for showing restraint, man.
Restraint.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
And which we never know how to do. We either show restraint by not paying for somebody, or we show restraint by not paying somebody. And we're not doing that. We're paying people, but we're not getting rid of the people we know who are going to bring us to a higher level in the future. That's what your minor league is for. Those guys are signings when they come up and perform. Adley Rutschman is almost like a new signing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and he's like your guy. And he's like, so it's like when you bring somebody up and they perform to that level, that's what happens. So, but you lost Lopez and Mancini. How you feeling about that?
Yeah. So basically, like you said, we lost Lopez and Mancini. Mancini's the tough one because
yes,
he's been, he was drafted by the Orioles. He's been in the organization for 10 years. He's a great guy. He's a productive hitter. So he's a good player. Really, really means a lot to the city. But at the same time,
survivor.
Yes, he's a cancer survivor.
That's the main thing for me.
Yeah, he's and he's come back and he's really done well since his return. But yeah, man, it's just
that's smart about the Astros, man. As much as I don't like the Astros are the team that can get at the Yankees. I mean, they obliterated them this year, but adding Mancini just hit a home run for him last night.
Yeah, he's hit 3 home runs for the Astros since he's been traded. He hit a home run in his first at bat. So he's doing well, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's playing in a park that's going to suit him. But it was hard to see him leave, but it makes sense. It makes sense for what the team's trying to do. And I like the fact you brought up the fact that he went to Houston. I like the fact that he's going to be winner. This guy hasn't sniffed winning since he's been in the Orioles. Now he's in first place.
No, that's not true. He sniffed winning this year. A winning record.
Yeah.
Best record in the NL East.
Yes.
The last 46 games.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. But no, I feel happy. I'm glad he has a legitimate chance to win the World Series. If it couldn't be with us, I'm so glad it's with, Houston. You know what I'm saying? So, because I want them to take down the Yankees.
Yeah.
They're going to, man.
I wanted him to come to Queens.
Yeah, I take that back. I do take that back. I would have preferred him with you all.
Yeah, but no, he's in a perfect situation. Totally perfect situation.
Jorge Lopez, we got 4 pitchers. Now, granted, we got 6 pitchers for these players. You got to understand, the Orioles have the number 1 farm system in baseball. Their farm system is stacked. I mean, it really is hurt, but it's weak. I don't want to say it's weak in the pitching, but as far as really good hitters, for the amount of good hitters that we have in our system, we don't have a whole. We're not as deep in pitching as we are with hitters. So I like the fact that we got these hitters. And let me tell you what the Orioles did, which I do appreciate. So basically, with the we made a trade with Houston and the Rays for Mancini, and we picked up 2 pitchers, right? Who were the 6th and the 12th rated pitchers in their respective team systems. So right now, like the guy we traded for,
which means you got more in your trade for Mancini than the Royals got for Benintendi.
Absolutely. So we traded for Seth Johnson with the Rays. He's our 8th ranked prospect now. Okay, and mind you, this is in our farm system is not chopped liver. We have the best in baseball. He's now our 8th ranked prospect. Chase McDermott, who we got from Houston, he's now our 12th ranked prospect. One of the guys we got for Jorge Lopez, he's our 26th ranked prospect. He's a left-handed pitcher, but he's an A-ball. He has good stuff, but he has some control issues, so he's not rated as highly. The other 2 were like some international signees that they're taking a chance on, and another guy is a bullpen guy that needs a little bit more polish. So, look, I like what the Orioles are doing. It sucks. The Jorge Lopez trade, look, the fact that we got anything for him, I mean, he's had a great half a season, and that's it. he's pretty much been a failed starter for his whole career. So the fact that we got anything for him is great. But I'm glad we were able to get top prospects from Mancini. And speaking of our teams, the Orioles are back on fire.
Yeah, what, 5 games over, or is it 4 games over?
We're 4 games over. We lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds, but that's okay because we swept the Rangers. We swept the Rangers this year 6-0. That team's bad, man. And we barely beat Pittsburgh last night 1-0. But no, man. Well, I think we only have one team to jump to get into the wild card right now, and that's the Rays, man. So
yeah, they're only 2 games behind them.
Yeah, so we're 4 games above 500. We have 2 more games with Pittsburgh, and then the schedule gets hard, but it's still exciting, man. I'm proud of my team.
Yeah, you have the number 1 rank, and we have the number 5 ranked farm system.
Okay. Oh, good. I didn't realize the Mets were that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we're not, like Francisco Alvarez, our catcher. He's our number 1 prospect. That's the guy we said we're not giving him up in any trade. And the thing is, I love that because we haven't had a farm system in a minute, and we have good major leaguers. Like, we are in first place, so those guys are going to come up, not cost a lot. That's the whole thing. We can just sit here and keep adding all these free agents, and Uncle Steve can be paying out the wazoo and paying all the luxury tax you want. But, as we see from the Dodgers, as, talented as the Dodgers are, they really only the past couple of years only had 1 World Series win. So it's good that they've been competitive, but they haven't really, not like they had back-to-back titles they've been to the World Series, lost, right. But, they only got 1 to show for it.
And that was in the shortened season too.
Yeah, so it's a title.
I know. I'm just saying.
I just don't like when people do stuff like that. And they're at the bottom of the prospect. By the way, the Angels are in 30th place. They have here for
their farm
system.
Man,
that is crazy. Ah, terrible.
How is it? Wow. Ugh.
Yeah, they're not.
They're in trouble, dude. The Angels
they
are in trouble.
I've never met a team. Actually, I think I'm lying. I think I got the Angels confused with the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers.
The Dodgers is not the 30th ranked farm.
No.
The Dodgers have
I saw LA. Let me see.
The Dodgers have a good farm system.
Yeah.
Unless, now I don't know if the Dodgers.
No, they're number 3. Sorry. Yeah, they're number 3.
Who, the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a really good farm system.
Yeah, behind the Cardinals. So, yeah. So 2 birds. So 2 birds, you guys. The Tigers are number 4. So good for them. So, but yeah, so a big week. Speaking of big weeks, a lot of stuff happened in the NFL this week.
Good Lord, man.
And a lot of suspensions. We had, people losing draft picks. So what was the most shocking thing to you? The Deshaun suspension, length of his suspension?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I texted you. I forgot what my response was, or you texted me. I forget, but my response was just wow, because I can't. 6 games, dude. Like, and the thing is, and the reason why I was surprised, because I didn't read the entire response, right? I mean, the entire reasoning for the judge's ruling.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I read, she didn't come out and say it, but she pretty much said that this dude was doing what he was doing. Like, she knows that he was doing it. It was I think she put it like sexual harassment or something like that.
It was a pattern of behavior.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, if this hurt, I would have been fine with that suspension if it were maybe 1 or 2 cases, right? But I think what we need to do is realize this just wasn't one case. Now, granted, he wasn't charged criminally. He wasn't found guilty in the court of law. But this isn't a court of law, right? This is This is the NFL, and basically you're suspending him. You're
For
suspending him.
conduct.
Yes, for conduct detrimental. This kind of conduct cannot be watered down. It cannot be overlooked. Like you cannot have anybody, right? But nobody should be doing this. But in terms for the NFL, you can't have someone representing the shield, right? Representing your shield with this disturbing pattern of behavior and only get 6 games. Like that makes no sense. Because it was so many people and so many times, you have to come up with this decision that says no. It has to be comparable, dude. You know what I'm saying? You can't do more than 6 games. I mean you can't do. You gotta go more than 6.
You gotta go more than 6.
Yeah. I would have been happy. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, what would you have been happy with? I wanted a year.
12.
I would have. Okay, you would have been happy with 12. I would have been happy for 9.
Yeah, because I knew I had a feeling the way it was going, it wasn't going to be a full year.
Yeah.
If it was up to the NFL, I think it would have been a year. But since it's going to now again, the NFL is appealing this ruling,
and I'm glad you said that because that's what shocked me even more. I didn't think the NFL was going to go that route, Hurt, but this tells me, nah, man. We can't have this. I thought, and the reason why I thought they weren't going to appeal because they just put this. Remember, they just put these protocols and stuff in place during the last CBA, right? So I figured, they're going to let the independent judge rule, and they're not going to want to appeal because basically, when you're appealing to either someone Goodell selects or to Goodell himself, and they don't want to do that because they don't want other players to not have faith in the system.
Yeah,
they're like, screw that. You know what I'm saying? No, and I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad because 6 games hurt.
It's not even half a season.
Yeah, like come on, man.
Like how could you at least not make it half a season or more?
Yeah,
like that like you said, 9 would have been half the season.
Yeah,
no, 6, like 6.
Like what? No, like what saying? Think about it. That tells players you can go out and do all this crazy, all this disturbance,
all these non-disclosure agreements,
right?
And just treat people, or it's like she said, the pattern behavior. I mean, she outlined part of it. The pattern behavior is disturbing to me.
She ruled that he could only have massages at the team facilities. That should tell you something right there.
Yeah, because there's a problem. He has a problem.
Right.
And he needs to be out longer than 6 games, period.
Yeah.
Now, the whole Dolphin stuff, I didn't even know what was happening. So I think it just kind of took me by surprise when I was like, they lost it. But all the stuff we heard in the offseason about them and Tom Brady, I didn't even really register. I was just like, I don't know what the heck this means. This is Tom Brady, Dolphins, Tom Brady, Dolphins. I was like, why? What? Huh? Ownership. All this other craziness. Well, it's tampering. And they got hit and they lost one of their 2020. They have more than one, but one of their 2023 first round draft picks. What do you think about the NFL ruling about the Dolphins tampering?
Okay.
Tom Brady. By the way, Tom Brady causes all these issues.
Yeah.
Spying, tampering. I mean, this dude just needs to retire to keep the league safe.
Yo, that is so true. That's so funny though. But so here's how I feel like. So the NFL did an investigation after Brian Flores made allegations that he was directed to tank his first year coaching the Dolphins. During the investigation, they say they found that he didn't tank. That sound like they pretty much he was saying, "Oh yeah, Ross said it," but he said it in jest. You know what I'm saying? Which is BS.
Yep.
But they also found that this dude did unprecedented tanking, unprecedented tampering. Spoke to Tom Brady they contacted Tom Brady when he was still in New England, contacted Sean Payton when he was still on the Saints. And I'm missing something else. Then they
said it was an egregious overstep and tampering by the Dolphins.
Yeah. So you know what? They found they found all this stuff. And from what I'm hearing, because I've been listening, I hear people, certain analysts and legal
Gurus.
gurus give their opinion. So basically, they're saying that the NFL couldn't really hit them with tanking. So what they did is they really went overboard with they really got them with the tampering. That's why they got the huge. The fine I think is a joke. I like the fact they took a first round draft pick in the third. That's fine. I would have liked the first and the second, but the first and the third is fine because that first is a big deal. The fine is ridiculous, yo. $1.5 million. Like, come on, dude. And they suspended him through October.
Oh yeah, it's suspended.
Come on, really? So it's so much hypocrisy, and this is one of the problems.
I think fines can only go to a certain amount, and honestly, you gotta remember.
Didn't Dan Snyder get fined like $10 million, yo, for his?
When's the last time you saw one of those? Remember, we see fines of like, oh, the organization's fined $500,000. Like what? You know what I'm saying? Like it's rare that it's in a million.
Okay, I'll give you that.
For these billionaires, like, oh, it's only $1 million. Like it's pocket change.
But do you think $1 million, $1.5 million,
that's trash.
Is going to deter owners from tampering?
No, never.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
$1 million.
That's what I'm saying. It should have been a higher fine.
And then keeping him home he can't show up to the games till October.
See, that's weak. If they really wanted to do something, suspend them for the whole year. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you can't come to the stadium for the year.
It should have been
$5 million. We take away your first round pick this year, your third round pick, and anything else that you do afterwards, we're going to double everything. So don't do it again. You know what I mean? Like with the thought, like this is your first strike. Your second strike is going to be worse. Your third strike is gone.
Yeah.
You know.
And this is the problem when we come to rulings and judgments and all this stuff, because we saw Sean Payton get sent home for the entire year for Spygate. I'm sorry for what was it for Bountygate.
Yeah, Bountygate. That was a whole season. That dude lost a whole season.
Right, but then you see players get whacked for seasons and all these games. But owners, we've had the Robert Kraft stuff more than once. You know what I'm saying? So
basically, Stephen Ross and Deshaun basically had the same suspension.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Stephen Ross. It's like the owners, and I get it. They're the owners. You know what I'm saying? The commissioner works for them. I get it. But when the owners look, Dan Snyder, all his shenanigans, he's still going to games. Granted, his wife is now running the team, but even still,
I can't when his day comes, man.
So this just seems to be so much. It does seem to be a huge hypocrisy when it comes to how the owners get judged, and fined, and how the players and coaches do. But that's the NFL, man. It sucks. But it's these suspensions weren't harsh enough, in my opinion. Hopefully, Deshaun will get more time. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, speaking of harsh, this whole thing with Brittany Griner is getting on my nerves. Even though the way the legal experts have said what was going to happen has actually everything they said along the lines. You're probably going to have to plead guilty. There's like a 99% conviction rate in Russia. We all know that. It's funny. We used to all see these cartoons or propaganda like, oh, Russia can't probably be that bad. But yeah, it is. Right? Like you get convicted of something, you're just gonna, that's what they do. You just throw you in jail. They said they probably, from what they do, they probably get 10 years, which is basically what she got with time served. So now they're open to doing the whole swap thing. This is all because this happened during this time. This to me is the only reason why any of this has happened.
Right. That's right. It's all political now,
and it's just a joke. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I never wanted to go to that place either, ever before this. Never going after this, but it's also the bigger shame is that she's there to make money because she can't make enough money here.
Yeah,
and because women's sports here is still something that, don't get me wrong, people in certain places support it like it's, I mean, those basketball crowds that go see the Seattle Storm play or the Phoenix Mercury, or go see the Mystics or something. Like those are just some really, the aces. Really big crowds. Usually in smaller arenas, not like the big arenas, but but just the model and stuff, the sustainability of it. They're making nowhere near to me what they should be making, depending on how everything works out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's just a shame that she got over there and they picked her to get caught up in this whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. I just this happens to Americans abroad in a lot of places. But during this, she's a high profile person,
right?
And they did this to, make a mockery of trying to, us basically, for helping the Ukraine, and that's all. I honestly believe that's all what it's all about.
Yeah, it's all political, man, and she's a pawn right now, and it sucks. It sucks.
So I can't wait for her to finally get home.
Yeah.
So speaking of getting home, the live golfers they want to come back home, and they want their privileges and rights back. And the PGA, 11 of them, including your boy Phil, suing the PGA for basically kicking them out. Kicking them out of all the PGA Tour events. Now, the crazy thing is, as much as I, what's the word I'm looking for? As much as I disagree with the whole live golf thing as far as who's funding it, and the things behind it. And this week we found out Tiger turned down $700 million,
Woo.
Which, good for Tiger. Because I'm sure he's close to that amount anyway, but still, like guaranteed. I think it was like, I don't know how long that was for. Heck, that could have been for a year. To me, it was very impulsive of the PGA to, you going here? We're going to just kick you out. Because I feel like you can't really do that. You know what I mean? Whether or not we agree if live is something that people should be going to or not and who's paying for it, they have the freedom to leave you and go someplace else. It's a marriage. They didn't like how the marriage is going. They went to a new person. Then you can't do this. You can't be on the Ryder Cup. You can't be in the Davis Cup. You're basically all your American golf and all these privileges are gone. Now the majors, depends on what the majors do, some can still play in the majors. But they basically tried to kick him out of all the, every PGA event.
Yeah, I don't know if the PGA has a legal basis to stand on, because you have international players playing in their tours. Like you got the Europeans playing a European tour, then they come and play in the PGA. You know what I'm saying? And not just on majors, but they, you know what I mean? They participate in the PGA stuff. You know what I'm saying? So so if they're on the live golf tour, why can't they play in the PGA? You know what I'm saying? Like other golfers do it. You know what I mean? So what's the difference?
I just think because it's just the way that it happened, they're just hurt by it.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering legally how they think this is going to hold up. So
it says Phil, Bryson, a bunch of other people are seeking a temporary restraining order to allow them to compete in the FedEx Cup playoffs. And wait, is the PGA, they're believing the PGA is trying to collude with the majors, which I believe they are. Because the majors have their own setup. And that's one of the major things. But it's they started suspending people, I don't agree with live and everything, but like, who are you, PGA? To just be like, no, you can't go here. Like if someone quits MLS and signs a contract with the Premier League or vice versa, they can't play for the national team. That's basically what you're saying at this point.
Yeah.
And why is that? But there's leagues there's multiple leagues in almost every sport around the world. Golf is one that's really, like you said, there's a European tour. I know they have a relationship, the PGA and the European tour. But there still are different tours. There's the lower tours as well. But to just go to this point because you're losing some of the big names, but you kept a lot of big names. You kept Tiger.
Right.
Does it hurt losing Bubba? Okay, yeah, maybe. Does it hurt losing Bryson and Phil? you still got Rory. You still got people, and people know, people here know the PGA. Like, I'm going to watch the PGA. I don't know what channel or if Live Golf comes on. But to sit here and to me just be petty about it, because believe me, there's golf courses Live Golf plays at that I'm never going to support. I ain't even going to go there. By the way, shout out to the people who were heckling that guy at the golf course. But I appreciate it. That's another story offline. But yeah, so I think, this is a lawsuit that has some basis to it. And I think they should just let him go. Just let him go, figure everything out afterwards, and not try to be this bitter beer face.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I'm with you. I don't think the PGA has a leg to stand on this one.
So yeah, exactly. So, but legs to stand on the Premier League Saturdays today. Again, they started early. Yesterday's game, Crystal Palace is at home to the Arsenal, and we prevailed 2-0 there in our South London, as they call it, a South London derby.
Yeah.
Well, you know that.
Yeah, I know. Come on, man. I know my derbies.
Yes, yeah, like Derby Allen. This Derby, yeah. So, what's your biggest takeaway? Like, well, who you think's finishing in the top 4 in the Premier League this year?
Top 4?
Yep.
All right. Well, let me think about this.
I know you study. I know how much you love the Premier League. I know how much you love Man City and their head coach. I know you love the coach. I know you love all the players they signed in the offseason. I just can't wait for you to buy your first Man City kit. And how do you like their new kits this season, by the way?
I haven't checked them out yet, but I'm sure they're awesome. So
gotcha. Okay. So go ahead. Give me your time.
You know what, Man City, they came in first place last year. They made some key adds in the offseason, and I think they're going to repeat atop the Premier League this year. I think Arsenal. I see them moving up from 5th to 3rd place this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to qualify for Champions League this year.
Yes, absolutely. I think Liverpool's going to take a little bit of a dip this year.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
So they're going to go from 2 to what?
They're going to go from 2 to 7. Man United.
7.
Yes, Man United. I think they're going to move up to that 2nd spot this year. And Tottenham, I think they're going to stay right where they are.
All right. Well, yeah, that's the worst top 4 prediction of all time.
So wait, hold on. So I got Man City 1. I got Man United 2. I got Arsenal 3. Tottenham 4.
You got 5th and 6th because who's finishing 5th and 6th ahead of Liverpool?
And I'll put Chelsea at 5.
Oh, okay. So who's 6? West Ham?
No, Leicester. I think Leicester's going to
Leicester.
Leicester. Yep. So
okay.
Who do you see in the top 4, Herc?
I think Liverpool's actually going to take it this year.
Oh, okay.
Their signings in the offseason, I think they have good momentum. I think City is going to be a step down as far as the league goes, but I think they're going to try to definitely step up to win their first Champions League. The signing of Eric Haaland is huge. He's just got to get used to the system. And we'll see, and just used to the defense of the Premier League. But I think he'll eventually work out. Number 3, I think it is going to be, this team right here, Simon Gabriel Jesus, getting back William Saliba, who's been on loan over in the French league for a couple of years. He's coming to his own on our defense. As long as we stay healthy and injuries stay away, I think we'll do fine. 4, I see Chelsea going to 4. They had a couple of things. They still probably because we can still assign players for I think a couple more days, so they might have some signings coming in that they're trying to bolster their squad. So we'll see how they do. 5th, some other team from London, and just we'll just go on from there. But yeah, I think we're moving back into Champions League this season. I have optimism. I don't think we're going to win the league, but I think we're going to go back to where we've been for like 20 consecutive years. So we need to go back to Champions League, and I think we had the team. I think we had the team to do it. As long as we stay healthy, the signings have already helped in our squad. Last year we lost our first 3 games. Oh, by the way, everybody, Amazon Prime, you can watch the last season's Arsenal. We were the subject of, I think they call it all or nothing. So we're on there. Our first 3 episodes are up on Amazon Prime now. So
okay.
Support and follow the Arsenal. There's a lot of cursing, so you can't watch it with the kids. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting because last season was very bumpy for us. So that's going to be real exciting. But thank you everybody for tuning in. We're going to have more entertainment stuff for you in the future. Today we just got to cut a little bit short. Really not a whole bunch of entertainment things coming on. But we're going to have our Marvel breakdown coming up in the future. And, of course, more sports and everything that we do. So thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe and like on StreamYard YouTube. Well, of course, we're also on Facebook, IG, Twitter. And of course, you can download us and listen to us on Spreaker and Stitcher apps, as well as Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find us, the NYMD Podcast. Everybody stay safe. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out, y'all.
Of course, no. 7.